how would you define the body positivity movement then?
For women.
Okay.
It's not for men whatsoever.
Y'all have been way too positive about your bodies for a long time.
Have we?
You needed more shame.
I think men have been dealing with shame a lot.
Then why aren't they shaving their back hair?
Well, you know what? You're right about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they've been ashamed of their emotions.
Well, yeah, sure, but
I know back hair is pretty bad, but
had been, yeah.
Wouldn't you rather have a guy with back hair who doesn't have like a simmering rage all the time?
I would just skip men altogether. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Dylan Carlino, the #1 bitch in town.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, no one knows me.
Stand-up comedian.
Comedian.
Anything else that you like to put in your...
I do a podcast. Some of this is bad. It's hosted with Colton Dowling. You can find it everywhere you can find podcasts.
Okay, we can do that at the end too, but you're comedian and podcaster then.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Comedian.
It's
podcaster.
not hilarious. The podcasters are real. I don't know why we have to feel like
I want to be a professional podcaster. That
Yeah.
would be incredible,
Well, how much time are you spending a week on this? Like, is it coming out? Like, this is a real thing you're doing.
Yeah. So we took about a month and a half off to kind of get our bearings.
Okay, so you're not a podcaster right now.
No. We're still recording. We just haven't been releasing to kind of restructure the show.
I see. But there are episodes out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
10 episodes out. Coming back end of the month.
Exciting. And what controversial opinion did you bring to the show today?
Incredible. Body positivity is fake and being fat sucks.
And you say this as someone who has hated fat people your whole life.
Yeah. I want to be very, very clear. I don't know who listens. I don't know how many listeners you have. And I would never,
It's all fat people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's
the one thing that I've looked at.
Fat people do love lesbians.
That's true.
But
who doesn't, though?
Straight men.
No, they love us. Are you kidding?
No, do they? Are you guys straight? Is that rude?
Yeah, lesbians are the #1 porn search term, so they love us on that level. But
yeah,
straight men also tend to vibe with lesbians tend to vibe with
I'm poisoned because I lived in Portland for 4 years, so my idea of lesbians is annoying.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
No, yeah, I'm thinking about the chill lesbians in my life.
For sure.
We hang
Texas
out with
lesbians.
Texas lesbians, very
The Texas gays I can really get on board with, but I want to say I have no research on this whatsoever. But I do have life experience, which who doesn't want that? Because I used to be over 400 pounds. Lived experience. I used to be over 400 pounds.
400 pounds. That is a lot. Can you?
Yeah, big boy.
Can you draw us a general body shape?
Absolutely. So until the age of 9, stick thin.
Oh, you were a skinny kid.
Oh, the type of kid, blonde.
So I was a pretty chubby kid.
Yeah. But didn't yours go away during adolescence?
No, I started working out and got an eating disorder so that I could lose the weight.
That's special. I didn't develop the good kind of eating
I
disorder.
I did a pretty good job of having an eating disorder.
What one did you have?
It was disordered in the sense that 5 days a week I would eat 900 calories. Maybe I shaved off some after a while. And then on the weekends I would eat if I made my weigh-in of losing a pound a week, then I could eat anything I wanted all weekend, and I ate like a pig. Then I also went to the gym 3 hours a day.
Yeah, so similar at one point. I've had many different eating disorders, but the one that got me thin was exercise-induced anorexia, which I was only eating bags of frozen broccoli and going to the gym for an hour and a half.
Bags of frozen broccoli, but you were cooking it first, right?
I was cooking it first for sure. Just sucking on it,
It lasts longer if you suck on it. I mean, frozen blueberries and grapes are nice, but
mango. For sure. Yeah. And I love that gym. I love being in there, having no calories, running on fumes.
Yeah. Something that feels really good about it.
Oh, it's like a high.
And honestly, it's probably good for us to sometimes do that. As much as these kinds of things are eating disorders, it's also sometimes really deprived. Fasting is really good for you.
They do say that.
Sometimes. Yeah. You don't want to. I mean, there are people who really struggle with anorexia, and y'all should eat a sandwich. But for some of it, it's there is some benefit to and realizing that it feels good to be hungry and feels good to see what your body can do.
That I love. I'm always like, you can't always tell.
That part didn't even feel bad. It was the eating the huge ice cream sundaes that, anyway.
I like the ritual of eating. Like I love making it a whole thing. Like especially, it doesn't matter if my set goes bad or good. Either way, I'm like, let's keep this
Pleasure
going.
cycle. Yeah.
Let's keep this going. And I'll binge. I haven't binged in like a year though, like a really bad binge. But I used to fucking binge eat, like huge quantity of foods.
You'd be shocked if you saw how much food I would binge eat too.
Let me tell you, my thing when I was like 400 pounds, I was living, this is so dark, with my friend's mom in a town that didn't even have a gas station, and I would like go out to eat with my friends, and then I would get so nervous.
Where did you go out to eat in a town with no gas station?
You have to go a couple towns over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then we'd go out to eat, and then I'd get so nervous that I would pick up 2 full-size family dinner meals from the Chinese food restaurant, and then binge eat the entire thing. And like make myself sick to the point where I'd have to like throw it up or
2 family-sized Chinese. Was it like fried?
Fried. Oh, it was
too?
always the same. It was so funny because it was always like beef and broccoli.
Okay, well you have broccoli.
Boneless spare ribs.
So far, this is paleo.
And
sticky
and
sugary.
lo mein.
Oh.
And then I'd always go, can I get an extra egg roll? But then I started saying, can I get 2 extra egg rolls? And then convincing myself, oh my God, they gave me an extra one. It's like, no, you asked for that. And so then you had like 5 egg rolls. It was, by the way, by the time you're finished eating the egg rolls, like you feel sick, and then, but then you have to pick up the 2 different boxes of like, it was.
Keep eating.
And then
because if you stop eating, then you have to feel bad.
100%.
But if you keep eating,
you keep it going.
Keep it going.
Someone just told me that if you watch TV while you'll eat more.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't realize that. And he said that to me. And I'm like,
you do like unconscious.
Yeah, I'm like, but I cannot eat without watching something when I'm home alone.
When you're home alone.
I
prefer to eat when I'm with other people because I think I am a little disordered when I'm by myself. I'm not sitting there being present with it. I tell myself I am sometimes, or if I go, like I realize it finally going to restaurants by myself. I'm like. I would just make friends with a stranger because I'm like eating by myself is such a bummer.
Oh,
I pretend to enjoy it. I try to convince myself I'm enjoying it, but I just want to be with someone else.
Are you someone when you're alone? I'll hurt myself alone. Not like I'm not like hurting myself, but like binge eating or like. But when I'm around other people, my best example is like I don't wake up to alarms whatsoever. Like I'll set 100 every single morning and I'll snooze them over and over.
God.
I right now have 2 plug-in alarm clocks next to my bed plus my phone going off in the morning to get me up to work. So I have 6 alarms all at once going off to disorient myself to get me up for work. But if someone else is sleeping over, I'll wake up to the first alarm and get up to the thought of bugging them. So the same thing with food. Like I can eat a normal meal and then not binge if I have other people around me.
Oh yeah.
But alone.
Because you're not going to do it in front of other people.
No.
It's nice to have other people around for that. Because,
You fuck with chips?
But I used to do that. Like when I have roommates and stuff, eating totally normally around them. But as soon as they would all go to bed, I'd like sneak into the kitchen and I'm like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's not even a good binge either, though. And now we're just doing full disordered talk. But like, good binge is alone. The food's fully made. You're not standing up.
You're not worrying about anybody finding you.
No. I had a friend walk in on a binge one time, and she was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Just go. Just get the fuck out of here."
This is a dream. Okay, well, no, this is good for our bona fides as people who have struggled with our weight, our relationship to food and stuff. And mine, I had, I don't know. I struggled as a fat kid. I've never been a terribly fat person, but I was.
And it is terrible to be fat.
Yeah. I was 188 pounds at my highest, just for transparency's sake.
And say your height.
5'8". I'm 5'8". And I weigh like 130 now. So almost like half more of my body weight. That, like it was a lot. I mean, it's a fair amount. So I know enough, and I put all my weight in my stomach. So there's just this crazy belly. That's all,
I hear it. Mine goes straight to my chest, which men love.
Yeah.
And then no ass. So it's really just a disgust. It truly, the worst thing about me is my torso.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you say that fat acceptance is fake, is that how you put it?
I said body positivity.
Body positivity. Okay. How would you define the body positivity movement then?
For women,
Okay.
It's not for men whatsoever.
Y'all have been way too positive about your bodies for a long time.
Have we?
You needed more shame.
I think men have been dealing with shame a lot. Like, and
Then
just
why aren't they
secretly-
shaving their back hair?
Well, you know what? You're right about that. Yeah, but they've been ashamed of other emotions.
Well, yeah, sure, but
I know back hair is pretty
grooming
bad,
department
but
had been, yeah.
wouldn't you rather have a guy with back hair who doesn't have like a simmering rage all the time?
I would just skip men altogether.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And I'm not there on women yet.
Yeah, I don't have to deal with the simmering rage or the back hair on the women I date. Simmering rage maybe for some, but I don't hang out with those kind of people.
But don't you? I don't know. I guess my opinions on the body positivity movement are kind of just like, it just seems like bullshit because it's not. It's one of those things that's like an online movement, but it's not practiced really in real life.
Okay. In terms of what would practicing it in real life look like?
Well, number one, when you lose weight, people are so happy for you.
Yeah. Oh, if you, as a comic, if you say the number one way to get people to clap for you is there's a tie. If you tell people that you've lost a significant amount of weight, you will get an applause.
Oh yeah.
Or if you have resumed drinking, you will 100%
really
get an applause. Yes.
I can't wait to relapse.
Exactly.
I can't wait.
Especially in Austin, Texas. That's one thing I'm embarrassed about audiences. We will clap for any drug use and drinking.
Oh, yeah.
But if you've quit, we're always a little late to the, okay, 2 years sober. Yeah, we clap for 2 years sober, for sure.
It's also like when you're sober here, there is really nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I'm like glad that comedy is like booming here. I'm like, all right, well at least I have something to put my energy in at night because it is a big drinking town.
It is a big drinking town. You can't get a haircut here without being offered a free beer.
100%. Also, I feel like the body positivity stuff is just like people are they love it when you lose weight. Not only just audience members, but like. Everyone. Just in real life, they'll be like, "You look incredible." They're like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "Literally went to the gym and starving myself." They're like, "Keep it up."
I think it's just like obvious. It's because like, look, we all enjoy looking at fit people more than we enjoy looking at fat people. So it's like, hey, we no longer have to be in pain looking at you anymore. This is better. I mean, to be honest, it's like,
oh no, I'll tell you this.
It's unpleasant, and we have to squeeze past you, and it's awkward, and we know you can't travel on airplanes, and like, dude, your life seems sad. We're sad looking at you, and it's gross. So this is so much better. Thank you so much. Although I will say, I have criticisms of everything, but I'm seeing commercials now where there's like 3 people doing yoga and doing active activities, and 2 of them are like a man and a chick who are traditionally fit, and then there's one woman with a very different body shape, and she's larger, and she's doing it, and I'm like, that, like, some of this stuff, some of the underwear model stuff, like, we've had some good stuff where it's like, it really didn't, and people were rail thin in the 90s and 2000s.
Oh, yeah. No, that was, I also want to clarify, like, when I say the body, like, I also don't think that's good. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like bullshit to me.
Yeah, but I just want to put that out there that it's like, yeah, because I definitely
and everyone's happy.
Hot. Yeah, and you can be hot, and people of all kinds of shapes and sizes and whatever are hot, and it's like a lot of that is confidence in the way you carry yourself, and so it's good to have body positivity in that sense. Because the time that I like really like when I lost the weight for good, because I went up and down, I yo-yoed for a while, right? It's been a while. It's been 10 years now.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And it was, I realized, because I'd always been buying myself like pants that were like my goal pants of one size down, because I wanted to, whatever, stuff like that. I hadn't gone swimming in a long time because
it's hard to take your shirt off.
Yeah. And it's also with the gender stuff. It's really hard to figure out a swimming situation, but the shirt off thing.
Yeah, that must be a nightmare.
Yeah, it's still hard. But it's gotten better. But I finally just realized, because I was like, my sister had gotten larger, and some of her friends were quite large, and then like they just peeled their clothes off at the beach, and like we went swimming, and I was like, I'm so much smaller than they are. Like, I feel like such an asshole right now, being like, I can't because I'm fat. You know what I mean? So I had that, and then I just had this thing where I was like, I am going to just decide now to love my body as it is, and to stop weighing myself, and I'm going to stop dieting and doing this like thing where I was still trying to like do my old eating disorder thing and have diet days, and so I would never hang out with people who they invited me for a beer after work because it was a diet day, you know. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to not do that anymore. I'm just going to eat healthy, real food, not diet bullshit food, eat healthy, real food, and listen to my body. And I was like, I'm just going to love myself, and I'm going to buy clothes that fit. and everything worked perfectly. And I knew I would gain a little bit of weight in the very beginning. And so that's why I was like, I got to stop weighing myself and whatever. And I got to be okay with it if I get a little bigger, because I have to regulate. And I did. I started eating real food, and I listened to my body, and and because I'm active, I work out and whatever. Yeah. I bought clothes that fit, and it just changed everything. And so I'm like, there's something about like deciding to love yourself that really does help, and even help you potentially get in shape. So I think there's something where we want the body positivity movement to go, you are beautiful as a person. We love you, and we're not saying anything's your fault or so to speak or whatever. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to be as healthy as you can be. I think we should all try to be as healthy as we can be.
So 100% agree with it. And that's exactly, in the last year, I've been like, all right, I gotta put down. After stopping drinking, I was like, we cannot keep this eating disorder stuff up. So in the last year, I have no restrictions on food, and I just work out a bunch, and I eat multiple meals a day, and multiple, more than just one. Mm-hmm. But also 100% when I'm talking about this stuff, I'm never like, I don't blame people who are overweight, and I also I'm like, just because you're overweight doesn't mean like you don't deserve to feel shame. I had the same exact thing happen where someone was bigger than me, like taking his shirt off of the pool, and I was like, "What am I doing?" Like, it's insane.
I'm a jerk now.
100%. And the amount of times that I've been sitting next to someone who is like so much larger than me, and I'm talking about like my gross body, and I'm like, I have to remind myself, like, Dylan, 400-pound you would be like kill for the body you have now. Yep. So fucking have like some appreciation for it. Mm-hmm. But I think my whole problem is just like the online part of it. That's just what really bugs me, and the healthy part, because now they are online saying that being that overweight, you can still be healthy. Right. And I'm like, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. I think you can be gorgeous. You can love yourself. You should never feel shame about what you look like. Because I've had this realization the last year, being like, oh, it actually doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And to me, it mattered so much for so long. But it's the healthy thing now that's bothering me. Yeah. When they're like, you can be healthy at any weight. And I say that on stage as a joke, and literally it goes silent every single time. Every single time they hate it when I say it. But I'm like, it's not true. You cannot be. I was 400 pounds.
Keep doing it. You'll figure out how to talk to them about it eventually.
It feels, as someone who's 400 pounds, it felt awful. Not just like the shame part, physically. Like I was like 23. Yeah. And like, it was like, oh my, why does my body feel like this?
Yeah. Someone just on one of my little pronoun joke videos, it devolved into a fat shaming debate for no reason.
Oh, for sure. Well, they love to do that online.
Yeah. But so this one woman was like going on and on about how you can be healthy at any weight. And this guy was kind of arguing, and he was doing a pretty good job defending the position, but still these people are all a little quick to be like, you dumb twat or what, kind of like that vibe. And so I just at some point chimed in and was like, hey, just like, I didn't say point of order, but I'm like, can you just grant that if someone is 700 pounds, they're not healthy? Can we grant that?
They're like, no.
I never responded.
Absolutely not. They're like, if you're 700 pounds, you're one, gorgeous, and two, healthy.
Healthier than me.
And if you're the ones I love are the one they're like 400 pounds, and like my doctor said I have to lose weight, and like they're like, I'm never going to him again. That was so like fat phobic. Right. And I was like, oh no, you're gonna be like Gilbert Grape's mom, burned down the house. I don't want anyone to see me, Gilbert. You know.
Yeah,
which is how I want to die. I want to eat myself to death. I mean,
once you get old, fuck it.
It's gone. Yeah, it's gone. I'm gonna be one of those old people that you see and you're like
fatter every time you see them.
Disgusting. Like I want to be like spilling
I eat
out.
myself to death.
Oh yeah.
Once you're like 80 or something,
eat
75.
I'm 6'5". Like you don't see tall old men. No. I got like if I hit 70, ooh, we're doing it.
It's like go for it.
Yeah.
Become fat little old ladies with my wife, whatever. It'll be cute. Okay, yeah. So I think that's exactly it. These online people take it too far, and I think who knows? Maybe the comment got lost. I guess I could go look, but I don't think she ever responded, which is funny because she was going back and forth. And then as soon as I just like, you can't get mad at me because I'm going to be respectful. I'm not going to call you a twat or whatever. I'm just going to say, can you just grant that at 700 pounds you're not healthy? And because then from then we can go, is it 650? Is it 600? But we know there's a point.
It's like I think by their logic, as long as you don't have the breathing tube yet, you're probably good.
Right. But you're saying if you have the breathing tube, then you are. If the line is anywhere, then it's somewhere.
Yeah.
And we can have reasonable people who can disagree about where that line is. And then I also said, like, but also some of these people who are like boo-boo on fat positivity, like clearly just want to make fun of fat people.
100%. They're the worst.
So let's all not pretend you're not doing that too. It's like sometimes even like Joe Rogan will do that a little bit where he wants to talk about how unhealthy. And I'm like, yeah, but sometimes it's just because you want to be able to make fat jokes, which I get. And we should make fat jokes sometimes. It's good to make fat jokes sometimes.
Yeah. I think it stops being healthy when you have to use the scooter at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like that, if you are like at the grocery store and you're like, I need the scooter, and it's only because of the weight stuff, it's like, there we go.
Or if you can't fly on an airplane because you can't really get on the seats. And
oh my God, though, that gives me I got kicked off of a ride at Six Flags my senior year.
For being big?
For being too big. That just hit me. When you said that, I was like, oh, that felt bad.
Yeah, that was too big, though.
That was, thank you for saying that. Yeah. That was too big. And you're so nice. And maybe it's because you're queer. Straight women will lie to you. Straight women will let you eat yourself to death and be like, oh, I really loved him. You know what I mean? Like all of my straight friends were like, that's why I don't think it's real. They're like, you're gorgeous. I had a friend tell me when I was 400 pounds, she goes, I don't think if you lose the weight, you'll be you.
Ugh, God. People
like, who will I be? I was like, I'd love to meet that guy.
Oh my God. People really want you to feel. Well, that's what I'm saying about when people clap for you resumed drinking. People want to be piles of shit. A lot of people really want to be a giant pile of shit, and they want to feel good about that. And so the more other people are a big fat pile of shit, the better they can feel about themselves. Now, whether they themselves are 200 pounds or they're actually 120 pounds, whatever it is, everyone's a pile of shit in a million ways. And that's the other thing. It's like, I do think it's you're going to be happier if you're healthy and you're thin and you're hot. Okay. If you're going to be way happier. But I also think that it is morally better to be healthy because it is morally better to be healthy because if you're unhealthy, then you're going to need health care, which costs resources, whether you're paying for it, whether all of us are paying for it with our tax dollars, whatever. Yeah. Also, the healthier you are, the more you can contribute to society.
I'm not even just personally. Don't you want to see
bedridden, whatever, or you're just kind of not very fit because can you save someone from a burning building? Can you do physical labor? Can you fix someone's car? Can you get whatever? Every kind of thing that you might be able to contribute, not every kind of thing, but many kinds of things that you might be able to contribute are going to be affected by how not just how fat you are, but how strong you are, how flexible you are. And so it's like, these are just one area. Now, there are a million different ways that we can be more or less morally good or bad. So it's like, this is just one. You might be really fat, but you spend all of your time tutoring underprivileged kids and you're a way better person than I am. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm a good person because I'm, whatever. I'm just saying it is one thing in life that's like, are you disciplined enough to be healthy in a way that allows you to not cost us undue money healthcare wise? Because it's costing. It always costs. Like, it's like, even if you pay for it, it's still resources that could be going elsewhere in the world than to pay for than some people to spend their time and stuff that they've mined out of the earth, whatever, to fix you.
See, yours is such a more practical approach to this situation. I just want men to want to fuck me. Well, like that's it, yeah, and I'm like that's all the
right,
boy,
and honestly,
and that's the like, gay men have not adopted body positivity. Right. They're like, lose it, fag, you look gross. Right. Like every single guy, if you could pull up Grindr, which I did right before I got here just to see who was in the area, and boys. I mean, and it's just all torsos, and if like guys like leaning over to a point where like they're showing their rib cage and their perfect body. I'm like, if I lean that way, like there's gonna be spillage and drippage. Like I'm gonna start leaking milk. It doesn't feel good. You know. And I just for one time in my life would like to have a perfect body.
Hell yeah, we all
would. And I think, what's wrong with that?
I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul.
I'm Rocky in Russia. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just fucking going.
And that's the thing. And now goals. And you're still pretty young, so
oh yeah, it's gonna happen.
Make this happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I know. I still want a perfect body. I've never had a perfect body, but now I'm stronger than I've ever been before. Yeah. And I'm like, if I really were disciplined about it, I could lose 7 more pounds and be like insanely hot.
See that. I don't think the 7 pounds is going to do anything for you.
It would for me, and it's my
mental 100%. Yeah. But Yeah, I don't weigh myself. I haven't weighed myself in like 4 or 5 years.
It's like there's one at the gym every now and then I'll jump on.
See, that scares me even more. I'm like, because my fear is that when the next guy steps on it, it's still gonna show. I'm like, and he's gonna be like, "Oh my God!"
He can see you.
You know what's funny? I think I'm invisible.
Yeah.
I constantly think
He's gonna
no
step
one's
on,
watching.
look at the old weight, and then look around. There's that fat ass. It's you.
Like, I didn't even know the scale went up that high. Also, whenever I tell someone when I do weigh myself, people are always like, "You're tall," and I'm like, oh. When I was 400 pounds, they'd be like, "You're tall, though." I was like, I'm not 7 feet tall." Like,
Yeah.
like, what do you mean I'm tall?
Yeah, no one's that tall.
No, and then you lose it, and everyone's like, "We're really happy. We were all talking about it behind your back. How you like really needed to lose it because you were gonna die." And you're like, "For sure," but you guys told me not to lose because I wouldn't be me.
Yeah, that's wow. I mean, that is interesting. The people, like the people online who are obnoxiously fat positive.
Those are who I'm talking about.
Right. They, how sometimes it's like it's the Anglo people in the audience who are getting upset about some racial humor.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, so for the ones who are thinner, who are being very body positive, like really fat positive like this, I wonder if it's just because like they just have actual like judgment in their heart. And they can't admit it to themselves that they are like, they feel gross, but they have to kind of like, there's like a cognitive dissonance issue. So they're not allowing themselves to just kind of be in touch with their shadow self and be like, yeah, I find it gross. That doesn't mean I don't like the person. I just want to fuck them, Yeah. And I hope for their sake that they get healthier and hotter. I hope for everyone's sake they get healthier and hotter, but it's not that whatever. But if they are like, if they have to convince themselves that everybody is beautiful in a physical sense.
Which is just not true. Some people are gross.
Some people are gross. Some people are horribly disfigured from an accident. It's like nothing to say about a judgment about anything about your character. It's like sometimes you're just gross.
You still deserve to have sex.
And sometimes there's somebody who has a fetish for how gross you are.
100%, which I don't want. I just want some people to want their fetish to be like, just like hot people.
Right.
But yeah, that doesn't, I agree 100%.
Yeah, maybe that's what's going on. I don't know.
I also think though that people who are super overweight, I think when you get to that size, you do develop a body dysmorphia where you can't see. Because I remember being like, after I lost all the weight, I've been like pretty thin, and I've also been like very, very heavy. And both times, I did not realize how big I was, and I also didn't realize how thin I was.
Interesting.
Like, so I don't think I don't think we're seeing ourselves either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're looking in mirrors. That's not what your face looks like. You can't see your body correctly. There are times where I like truly wake up and I'm like, you look incredible. And then I could have a soda water and I'm like, how did you gain 100 pounds? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. So I don't even think we're fighting for something that we like can't even, our minds won't even let us like see the truth of it. And then just dissociating from like the pain, every pain we've ever had, and like shitty comments that people have made about your bodies. And then you like take everything so seriously. I also think the thing that bugs me is like, if you don't like people talking this way about body positivity or being overweight or being too thin or making jokes about it, like maybe this conversation isn't for you. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. Why does every conversation have to be for everybody? It's
funny, on another joke thread on Instagram, someone said that they thought my jokes were mean or something. And then the next person was like, oh, I like them, and so did my non-binary kid. Whatever.
and my kid who's 11 and they're non-binary love the joke, so it's okay.
And so then the next person chimes in and says, like, oh, so you're a cis person coming in here to how did they put it? To talk over a queer person, and now you're using your kid as a shield. And I'm like, okay, it's not talking over someone to respond to their comment. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
Also, it was applicable that it was a joke about non-binary stuff, and so they're non-binary. It was applicable to say, yeah, my non-binary kid liked it. So
they're just so angry. I'm like,
is this a bot who's saying these things? Is this a bot coming in to say the most obnoxious queer, or is this a Russian person like trying to sow dissent? That's what I'm starting to think. They're so on the nose sometimes, and I'm like, I really wonder if these people are actually just Russian operatives.
I mean, probably.
That's the best thing that you can think about some of these, because I'm like, I don't want to hate queer, I don't want to have the stereotype of a queer person their screen name was something like Stone Butch something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have this.
Stone Butch 45
Yeah.
Slay.
I just don't want to feel like they are like that. So many of them are that obnoxious.
They
So
are.
I
I'm going to say
think
they are.
Some of them might be Russians.
Although I will say, I'm loving the gay people in Texas. I'm loving the queers in Texas. God, are they fun? They're saying the wrong words. They're having a good time. They're like, I don't. That's what I love about the gay people here. They're like, I don't need straight people to like me. I don't give a fuck. I feel like in Portland, everyone was like, if you don't respect me, then you're a bad person. It's like, straight people are never gonna respect you. You're never gonna win that war. So like, who cares? You know, I would never comment. I think it's humiliating to comment on things. So it truly, like, even the only comments I've ever made were positive, and I'll still wake up in the middle of the night being like
stupid.
do you remember when you did that? It's like, it's humiliating. One time, one of my favorite comedians posted a picture, and she was like, in the Berkshires, which is where I'm from in Massachusetts, and I literally commented and said, this is disgusting. I said, like, everyone loves the Berkshire Getaway. And I'm not even joking. Like, I feel worse about that than getting kicked off the ride when I was a senior for being too fat. Like,
You should.
It's so humiliating.
That's a good point in this body positive thing, because again, we're saying there are a million things to feel shame about that you should feel shame about.
Yeah,
you should feel shame
it's
if you're too
that was
fat, or
3
if
years
you
ago.
say
That was 3 years ago.
everyone loves
I think about it every week. I think about it constantly.
good. You know, you're repenting.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh
important.
my God. Yeah.
It's just, life is all about improving on yourself. Like, it's just, that's the best way in life. And maybe our souls are on an eternal journey. Who knows? But if nothing else, just in this life, it gets better if you are working on yourself.
Sometimes
there are a million ways to work on yourself, and you could be 900 pounds, but be a Stephen Hawking of a person. Otherwise, I mean, you need a wheelchair and everything, you know, but I don't even think you can do a wheelchair at 900 pounds.
I'm sorry. I want to say this. Like, who cares about Stephen Hawking's? I don't even know what he did.
Point being, incapable of using your
I
body, but smart enough to contribute something to mankind anyway.
What did he contribute?
I had some theories about time space stuff, you know.
I actually don't believe in speaking about space or going there. Different, but like that's sorry.
I think he did some more important stuff earlier too, in like the 70s, and then kind of petered
There's
out.
no body positivity for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people would call him beautiful or whatever, but when your face is like crumpled over,
Yeah,
it's hard.
that's the other
hard
thing.
to be fuckable.
Yeah.
But some people have a fetish.
I'm pretty sure he left his wife for another woman.
Well, in the movie, he like cheated on her or something.
Good for him. Like, men will always still cheat.
Yeah. Somehow. This fool's
Disabled. He's
yeah.
like, oh, still got it.
He
She
has
wanna
to type it out.
Yeah.
Don't tell my wife.
But that's the other thing. Body
I
positivity
can't
is
feel my
not.
dick really. It's like anyway, it still looks hot.
Oh God. And you know it's like uncut because he's UK.
Oh yeah. Uncut Stephen Hawking dick.
Yeah.
God, it's probably misshapen too. You
Oh
know?
my God. Your whole body's not gonna look
Yeah,
gross,
it's
and your
also-
dick's gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It's rock hard. Like it's a huge.
Could you
dick.
imagine? Yeah, a huge monster dick.
Perfect. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And the woman really was having a great time just riding him. It's like he gets his wheelchair to like do the motions, you know.
That's disgusting.
He just made himself into a sex toy.
that is
Him and
true.
his chair into a sex toy for her.
Sometimes I watch sex toy porn.
What?
I said sometimes I watch.
You mean like just where people are using sex toys on each
like
other?
where straight guys are fucking like the pocket pussies,
Oh,
and then they're like being very verbal.
that's funny.
That's not the topic we're talking about, but you know, that is
funny,
it.
though.
And it makes me feel
Is
bad.
it
because
hot or you think it's funny?
I do think it's hot. It's more there for the verbal stuff because what you know, but
It's just funny. It's just like
I don't like when it's like a torso. You know, it's like crazy. Have you guys seen those?
Oh, where there's a torso in a hole?
It's a torso in a hole.
Oh, that's weird.
And sometimes the body positivity, the waist on this torso is probably 15 inches, and she's got double D's.
Oh,
I was like, honey, this girl's back must be killing her. Like, it's not good.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. But all the easier for them to objectify women
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And when we're against that here.
or whatever. Objectification is a tricky subject, but there is something I think about men who like fake women's bodies, where it's like, are you uncomfortable with real women's bodies?
Oh, for sure.
like I get
Like
it if
people who watch
like they're
too much
getting
porn.
older or whatever, but like someone who really wants like huge like fake boobs and a little like I don't know, there's something like you don't want reality maybe.
It's like, who are you, Howard Stern? It's like, this is nuts.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to keep talking about body positivity?
I want to say two
Okay, yes,
things.
good.
And this is from, I made a best friend who's 12 years older than me. I actually think you know him. But he's straight. He's constantly putting ideas in my head. But he brought this up to me, and he was like, body positivity is not real, or like the movement, because women very quickly will be like, if you're 5'8" and you're a man, kill yourself. It's like, okay, well, he can't do anything about that. It's
Right.
like, you could lose the weight.
Right.
And he can't do anything.
That's so true.
And people
Small
with dog
dick,
and
short. Yeah.
these short boys got big dicks out there.
Yeah, but so I'm saying either one.
Oh, yeah.
Either you're small, you have a small dick, or you're short, and
Yeah.
no body positivity for you.
Also, when Lizzo's out there and she's like dancing and everyone's like body positivity, it's like, what about the 12 guys who all have 12 packs behind her? It's like,
Right.
we're the big boys, Lizzo.
That's
It's
a
like
good question.
it's always like guys with like cum gutters. It's like, so that's what's attractive to that's what you find attractive. You don't find fat guys attractive, Lizzo.
Do you have a bit about that?
No.
You should do a bit about that.
That's
such a good
that's like
point.
my conservative friend. He's like, have you seen Lizzo? You know that, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
'cause
yeah.
I'm not watching her music videos, so I wouldn't know.
I'm not either.
Okay, but we should. That's a good take.
Yeah, okay. It's not mine.
Well, ask him if you can do it.
Oh, he begs. He would love for me to go full right wing.
It's not even right wing.
I know,
That's
but
just
that's
pointing
what
out moral
when this
hypocrisy.
comes out, that's what they're gonna say. One, they're gonna come for the rape joke that I made. That, by the way, wasn't even that good because no one laughed,
need to
and
put
I thought it was
content
gonna get a
warning.
big pop. Because I'll tell you this about me: I make a lot of swings,
Yeah.
a lot of misses, but the ones that hit go over the fence, bitch.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely,
Well, we can put a content warning out, and then that like
for sure.
Although I read a study that content warnings make things worse.
Also, if it helps, I woke up to someone having sex with me once.
Yeah, we've all been at least a little
Raped.
something. I do try to say assaulted some, but then I also feel like it's like I don't want to minimize what happened, but I know that a lot of people who've been like really assaulted a lot.
I know, but at the
really
same
do,
time,
like-
like, don't you think in 2023, can we all go in saying, like, if we're talking about our own personal experiences, other people shouldn't be able to comment on how we talk about them? Like, if
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm 400 pounds and I thought it was the worst thing that ever happened to me and it was
Yeah.
disgusting, then you have to say, okay, that's his belief.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, and when it comes to the rape stuff, it's like
I'm against it.
Yeah, I
Just to throw that out there, I think it's really fucked up.
yeah, no, I think all rapists' throats should be slit, but
And I think it's case by case.
no, it's like if it's, you know, if
Hate the sin, love the sinner.
but you know, I feel very strongly about it, but I do joke and talk about rape and stuff, and so you know, I just like tell my woman that she probably shouldn't listen to most of the podcast because it's like I don't know what I'm gonna have said, and it's like
Yeah.
it's not that she would be offended by any of the content of what I'm saying. It's just that it's hard for her even just to hear the word rape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That must be hard.
yeah,
That sucks.
yeah. I mean, she's okay. It's just like
Yeah,
she doesn't
for
want it. This we've said it like 15 times.
Well, now I'm backtracking. I'm like, please don't be mad at me.
It's okay. But I think people who listen to my podcast and stuff have probably gotten used to a fair amount of like, well, you might need to be ready for
Yeah, am I the worst person who's come on here?
no.
Oh, cool.
Okay, wait, you said you had two more things. Did you get out both your things?
Oh, yeah, it was the Lizzo thing and the short guy thing.
That's so true. So like body positivity has always been a euphemism for like fat positivity pretty much,
Yeah.
or maybe kind of like, yeah, it's only for women.
I actually think in its inception, it was supposed to be like for girls who looked like Amy Schumer, and it was like, you're not fat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
And that was important again.
and that was so important because
Yeah.
there were girls who were like size 7s being like, I want to kill myself.
Right.
And it's like, oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that anyone
So
should kill themselves,
when
but
Not you.
not it's kind of like when you go to McDonald's and there's like a really pretty girl there, you're like, whoa, what are you doing here? It's like, you don't have to work here, you have other options.
Yeah. Oh.
But don't you think that when you're in the Taco Bell line, she's like gorgeous, you're like,
Yeah.
you could easily get out of this situation.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
It is true. You ever seen like a woman who was a little attractive who was homeless, and you were like, nobody helped you?
drugs.
Like yeah, I know.
It's always
but-
drugs.
Oh, it's like God. Anyway,
Good luck.
I feel like we've covered it. I'm trying to think if there's any points that people could want us to bring up or that we haven't dispelled. What would the people say? The kind of like online people say.
Well, they would say, one, they're going to say, this is incredibly fat phobic.
Well, I guess what is phobia? I don't think we're scared.
I'm not scared. Honey, I'm not scared.
And again, we've talked about how like we've been fat or fatter or whatever. We've been, we love fat people. It's just.
I think they're going to say this is a dangerous conversation.
Oh, I'm probably dangerous.
It's a dangerous topic.
I'm just going to
Especially doing our early careers.
Okay. Oh, dangerous for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say a lot of stuff.
Yeah, same.
And yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, but it's like, what can you actually say that we're saying this wrong? I mean, all we're saying is you should be healthy. You should, whatever. But if you're not, again, that's just one area. Even when I say it's morally better to be healthy, I'm like, that is one area in life. You could be super fit and morally unhealthy in other ways that I would condemn way worse. And you could be super fat and you could be morally healthy in a lot of other ways. And whatever. Like, it's just on a kind of objective level, being the healthier you are, the better it is for you and the better it is for your community. I don't think there's any other way around that. So when people want to sit there and talk about morals, I'm like, it's like a lot of stuff comes down to people don't realize the effect that they're having on their tribe, their community, their whatever, the effect you're having on it. Like, there are hidden costs of a lot of things. And the hidden costs, like being fat, it's like there's a lot of costs to being fat to both you and you're consuming more resources probably.
And the grocery stores are getting more expensive.
Now, so there could be someone who eats a shitload of McDonald's or whatever, or a shitload of like really healthy food, but like way too much, and they're quite big. They're unhealthily big, and they're eating too much food. That is going to have a bigger ecological impact than, say, the nuts and berries that I mostly eat, and not that many of them. You know what I mean? I eat a plenty, but I'm just saying, like now there could be someone who is quite in shape, but and very muscular, especially, who eats keto, paleo, whatever, and is consuming so much more than their fair share of the Earth's resources because it's all this meat and that takes so much water and takes blah, 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 blah. And so it's not that I'm saying inherently that 700 person is bad and these other people. I'm just saying all of us, how much food we're consuming, how much we're taking to feed, that's how much you're taking from the Earth's resources. You care about climate change and whatever else, then eating a 400-pound person diet is having a worse impact on the environment than eating a 180-pound diet.
I want to be clear. I am absolutely taking more than my fair share of every resource available.
Well, also as Americans, we are in a million ways. And so again, it's not to condemn like that's, I'm just saying when you're saying what's better or not, like it's better to not eat too much.
Also, I think it's like very easy, we're also living in a very new world in the last 20 years with like TV and all the food and everything's changed, especially in the last 50 years. It's like, I don't. Who wants to sound like Joe Rogan? But it's like, we are supposed to be in tribe. You know what I mean? Like of like 200 people. Which I've never.
He's not the only one who talks about communities of 200 people.
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely heard Whitney Cummings say it too. But
you need to expand you need to read some books.
No, every book I read is like about like teenage girls who are going through something.
Okay.
Like I read all 18 Pretty Little Liars books.
Maybe time to add some nonfiction in every now and then.
For sure, it's hard though.
Okay, so I can give you some recommendations.
I love that. Okay. Yeah, but yeah. And
I don't know. I mean, I do feel like an asshole because I'm saying things that I know that
it's also
like,
just an opinion.
Say. It's also just an opinion, and if we're wrong, as always, I would love to hear why I'm wrong. Anyone can always write me a thoughtful, argument. And or invite me to talk on the phone. I might even have you on the podcast. I'm always happy to hear other people's. But
I think that's too open. I think
I might not have them on the podcast.
I think the phone call is too open as well. I think even a DM would be too much. I think if you have a problem with what we're saying, then like maybe we're not the people for you.
Maybe, but I'm saying if there's anybody who really feels like they want to reach out to me, I am open to hearing. And if you send me a DM, because sometimes people do and they're unhinged, and I try to take what I can from it, but I don't really want to engage.
Yeah.
But if you're, if if you're kindly about it and you put your arguments out there, I'll probably respond to you and take from what you have to say. And it's just, I'm just saying there's a potential for having a phone call. There's a potential for having you on the podcast even. They're both unlikely, but it all just kind of depends.
I'm also always wrong. Like I'm never right, you know? And I also have a problem with like earnestness and like actual opinions being out there, where I'm like, yeah, it's probably, you know, we're just having fun.
Yeah.
This is just something that bugs me.
I think it's okay for you to say, as someone who was 400 pounds, like, I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I've lost the weight. I want to lose more weight.
Yeah.
And I imagine that's true for most people who are 400 pounds.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Except for maybe some sumo wrestlers or, you know.
Well, they made a career out of it.
Yeah. And that seems nice if you can if you get to eat a lot because you're a fat wrestler.
Oh, they look sick to me.
Yeah, they look so good. In the diapers.
I hate
the
the
hair
diapers. Like,
thing.
you look like a little fat baby. It's disgusting.
Mostly I love everything the Asians do, except sumo wrestling is fucking gay as fuck.
It is crazy, like when you see how big they are, and you're like, or even how big I was, and you're like, whoa, like, how'd your body even carry that?
Yeah.
Because I have pictures on my phone when I show people, and they're like, whoa.
Strong legs.
Like, maybe you guys are thinking, like, oh, it's probably not that big. It's like...
No, 400 pounds is really big. I've had some really fat people in my life.
Yeah, no, it's big.
Yeah. I don't know how I have like...
Oh, you were too?
I was 450.
Yeah, I was like,
450?
yeah.
How tall are you?
6'6".
And how tall are you?
6'5".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't it miserable?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I had meningitis when I was 21. And went to a hospital that was like, you know, like vintage. And they were like, yeah, it was a vintage hospital. And they were like, we actually have to send you to the other hospital because if you sit in our toilets, they'll rip off the wall. So it's a liability for you to be here. And my dad's from Massachusetts, and he was like, "Oh fuck, you had to say it in front of him." I was like, you couldn't just transfer him; you had to tell him.
That
they
was
were
your
like,
Richard Simmons
yeah,
moment.
yeah,
Someone
like-
was trying to fat shame you into losing the weight.
I literally once I got home from the hospital, I was like, things have to change.
Good,
I was like,
that's the
you
thing.
cannot be
They
getting
fat shamed you. Maybe it helped.
100%.
That was your Richard Simmons moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And I don't know if all the kids know this story, but Richard Simmons famously was like very fat. And some friend wrote an anonymous note and put it on his windshield that was like, "You're fat, dude. Dance it off or something." And then he started his little dancings that he did and lost.
Sometimes we have
weight.
to. There's not enough shame happening.
Not enough shame. There's ways to do it, but again, you don't need to just necessarily like make cruel fat jokes to your friend, you know, unless if you're the kind of friend where you roast each other, whatever, make fat jokes. Everything depends, but there are cruel ways to do it. There are ways to do it that are mean-spirited, and then there are ways to do it that are thoughtful and kind, and like, leaving an anonymous note might be one, or like, kind of just being a little honest with your friend. I've done that with friends before, where I just kind of ribbing them about stuff where you're just kind of being honest, but you're saying it with love.
I wouldn't call him a friend, but he's another comic in the scene, and I had done like 5 shows with him, and he's a handsome guy, and I went up to him and I was like, I know I don't know you this well, and I was like, but I have to say this. Is it okay if I make it? And he was like, yeah, and I was like, you know, your hair doesn't have to look like that. I was like, we absolutely can get it cut and styled and figure this out, but what's happening right now is doing you a disservice.
Right.
And he was like, thank you for saying that.
Really? Because I always wonder about saying things because you're like, maybe you're just going for that kind of weird, ugly look or something.
Well, it can be better.
Yeah.
And I could tell. I was
Can
like,
you tell me after at least who it was?
Oh, well, I mean, I would say it on here.
Oh, okay, please, yeah.
It's Hunter Duncan.
Oh, what was his hair doing before?
It was just like long. It was just like,
Too long?
yeah. I was like, you don't have to do
Oh,
this.
he'll definitely take constructive criticism.
I literally saw him on a show. He's like, I was like, I like the haircut. He was like, I thought of you. I was like, that's what I want to hear.
Good. Aw, little Hunter Duncan. Okay. Yeah, we are going to get canceled, though.
Oh, 100%. We're
This
done.
is basically what this podcast is just getting all the comics to say cancelable things.
Oh, yeah. And also, I'll take all of it back.
Together. We're all
Here's the thing about these people. They'll be like, they were fat phobic. And then you literally just have to be like,
I'm opinion fluid.
yeah, no, you could just
So-
use their words against them and then be like, now after reflecting, I've decided that I'm non-binary.
Right.
And that everything that I said before that was not who I actually am.
point.
And I take it all back. And if you're
Right.
upset about that, then you're against me in my journey of gender.
Right. Exactly. And I've never said whether or not I am non-binary, so
I have not said my
Continue.
gender at all on here. So
Hold on.
don't assume.
don't assume anything. No.
I have a body of a Victorian woman who was painted on a wall, but that's not my
Has
gender.
nothing to do with your gender.
You know when people are like, that's what real women look like. You know, it's like that's what I look like when I
like a
take my
real
shirt
woman.
off, like a real woman. I have the body of like a wet nurse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, whose kid's hungry?
Yeah. How much weight do you want to lose? More?
Honestly, I just want to get I probably could lose. I don't weigh myself, and I have no idea what actually being 6'5" and like at a weight that I would like even looks like.
Right.
My friends are telling me that if I go under 200 pounds, they are going to stop speaking to me. Because my goal would be to be 150 pounds.
No, that's probably too little. 6'5", that's too
That's
little.
more of a joke, but
Okay.
they're like, don't go crazy with it. But I have gynecomastia, so I am
reassess.
gonna get my chest done. That is like,
Yeah.
and
Surgery.
I am gonna get top surgery, and I think it's so expensive. It's like $15,000.
Yeah.
I was like, why?
Do a GoFundMe.
I would
my thing is, like,
literally rather die of cancer than ever have a GoFundMe.
I know, but it just bothers me because I just like feel like if anybody gets a GoFundMe for something cosmetic, whether it's gender related or not, then we all should get one GoFundMe. We all should get $15,000 to change something.
I'm half trans. This is
about our
literally half. I think I have
Right.
breasts, so it's
Right.
like, and I'm in a male body, and that
Right.
I want to be in. You know, so I'm like, this is half trans.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of is. No, you have dysphoria about
Yeah,
it.
and I'm down to have the top surgery or the cancer surgery too, where they like,
Right.
I don't need my nipples. I don't really care. I'd rather have a flat chest than nipples.
Yeah.
I'll get them tattooed on.
Yeah, the Ken doll look.
No, I'll get them tattooed on.
Oh, you get them tattooed? Okay.
Yeah, because no, they can't tell the difference. There's scar tissue. It feels like the tip.
That's cute. Okay. Okay. All right. So you have how many pounds to lose?
Let's say,
100-ish?
okay, well, I was gonna say 50.
Oh.
Do you think I need to lose 100 pounds?
No, I don't know. I don't know how much it is, you know?
Right, I feel like maybe like 50.
50? Okay. Oh, so you're
Yeah, I'm like, let's all weigh myself afterwards and figure out what you guys all think I should weigh.
50 pounds. And what are you actively working on it?
Oh yeah, I'm at the gym 5 days a week, 5-6 days a week.
Strength training and
Strength training, and then my new thing is doing the incline treadmill, full 15, 30 to an hour.
can I interest you in getting into rock climbing?
No.
It's so fun.
It's not even about fun. It's about the fact that when you drive by them, there's too many people in there.
I go to Crux in the north. It's a lot less crowded.
I just don't want to do it. I don't want to be like around people who rock climb.
So fun.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure. You know, one time I bought my ex-boyfriend a rock climbing gift card because he said it was his favorite thing in the world, and he never went.
Can I have it?
Oh no, he has it.
Oh, okay. No. But you should find a sport though.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm also afraid at the gym of men, so it's like I want to use the barbells. I don't know how to use the barbells, and I'm scared of asking men because it's humiliating to ask for help.
Yeah. Well, maybe you take like a strength and conditioning class somewhere, and then they'll kind of teach you some stuff.
For sure, I used to do CrossFit.
Yeah. They didn't do barbells though.
No, but they make you like take the barbell and like throw it in the air
Yeah.
and like recatch it, and if you fall, they're like, get up.
Right.
It's scary. Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right. Well, nice.
Yeah.
So 50 more pounds.
I think 50 more pounds,
Like,
and I want to say
stretch.
I also have not had any food restrictions whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so then this year I was like, all right, I think I can handle it. And I'm going to go on a massive diet where I have 0 carbs, all protein, like really fucking build. I want to just build muscle. Some carbs.
Yeah,
just a
but
little
maybe
bit.
read the book, The Longevity Diet, just to balance
Okay.
out your thinking, just to balance out the opinions on all that.
Oh, yeah, I know. For sure.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of evidence that it's, I mean, some people seem to do, I think different bodies are different. I think some people maybe do well on the all meat stuff or the lot of meat stuff, but
Yeah.
a lot of people really don't. And it can be quite bad for your heart. And
Oh.
you do need carbs to fuel yourself from somewhere. And, you
Look
know
at
what I
me.
mean?
I'm going to do carbs.
Just, yeah, I'm
gonna
saying,
do it.
I'm more of a fan of all things in moderation, especially at this point. It shouldn't be that hard to lose weight because you should be able to just keep making
Oh, yeah.
tweaks.
If I showed you what I looked like when I first
Just
got
less
here, you'd be like,
sugar.
whoa.
Right. I'm just saying,
100%.
instead of going no carbs, full meat, why don't we just like do less processed sugar,
I know.
whatever.
I really don't even eat sugar. That's where I'm like,
Yeah, just more vegetables, more water, lemon
Yeah.
water in the morning. I don't know, just add some new.
you know what my real problem is? That Trader Joe's frozen section.
Yeah, they have a
I
really
am
good
fucking
frozen food.
that
Actually, I'm about to go there.
Oh my god, the orange
close to
chicken.
here.
Oh, it's so close to here. I get
The orange chicken is
the-
really good.
and the dumplings. I mean, those frozen dumplings. I'll get 12 bags.
Okay, how about this? Instead of no carbs, just do no fried food for a couple months.
All right.
Yeah. All right. I think we solved fat
I love it.
fat acceptance.
I come back. I'm like stick thin. I'm like from the Holocaust. I'm like, I'm like, well. Let's start back over.
Oh wait, do you want to plug stuff again?
You can listen to my podcast. Some of this is bad on everywhere you could listen to it.
When is this gonna come out?
Either it will come out not this week, but next week.
And also, you can follow me on Instagram at Dylan P. Carlino, and you can come attack me. You can come for me. And I'll tell you this right now, I'm manifesting I'm going to have 75,000 followers by the end of the year.
Hell yeah! I think I manifested something similar. I have numbers in my planner.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at Ellen to Genderless. Follow
good
this
name.
podcast at Politically NB. Wait, so if it's coming out next week, does that mean on what day does it come out? Saturday? I feel like I saw one.
I'm sorry.
What day does it come out?
Fridays.
Fridays. So on the 3rd. Just thinking if there's anything important. Oh, I'm going to be in LA on the 5th doing Chatterbox at 9. And then I'm doing a show in Bryan, Texas on February 8th. And then some shows. Oh, and then all my shows will be happening that weekend, 9th, 10th, 11th. So just follow me on Instagram where you can see shows. I always have a little upcoming show tab for people. I have no idea if anyone ever uses it.
I wish they would. I had just had a situation where all my coworkers were like, I'm so sorry we didn't come to your show this weekend. I'm like, I don't care. I told all of you, if you want to come to a show, I'll post it on my story. If it's on my story, you can come, buy tickets, come, don't tell me. And if you want to find me afterwards and you can, say hi. They're like, we're so sorry we can't make it. I'm like, literally stop texting.
Do you know how many people could be texting me about whether they made it or not to the show?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't care.
People do. I'm like, I'm so sorry you went out of your way to, and I'm like, I didn't.
Yeah.
I just answered your question.
Yeah.
It's okay. Show
I'm
up
like,
to
just
the
don't
next
bring it
one.
up.
But
Yeah,
thank you so. Yeah, I had no idea you didn't come, to be
Yeah.
honest. But, but people are. I mean, they just have no clue. This guy messaged me. He saw me open for Louis in San Antonio, and then he was like, messaging me about it, and I just said something, thanks, or whatever, and he was like, oh hey, my birthday's coming up next week. Could you and Louis record a birthday?
Absolutely not. People have no boundaries. This is why people are overweight. They can't stop themselves. It's like a little bit of attention and immediately, can I have a video recording?
I'm like, do you know how much people pay for stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like, at least offer us to pay. I don't know how much you would have to pay
Also,
Louis to do that.
Are
but-
you 9? Who gives a fuck? It's your birthday.
Right. It
It's
wasn't
like-
even. It was like in 10 days.
No, it's that is insane.
Anyway, fun stuff.
All right.
But yeah, all right. Thanks, Dylan.
Sending a lot of love.
Yeah, sending love to all the fatties.
Yes,
Especially.
and to the girls who need to gain it.
By the way, it's like, if you're fat and you're hot, come hit on me.
Say that.
Okay? Please. All right. Bye.
All right, bye.